Adrian Cross had spent 6 years creating something that could change people's lives. He had the knowledge. He had the designs. He had the determination to build something meaningful. But there was one thing standing between him and his dream: fear. Not the fear of hard work. Not the fear of long nights. The fear that, after giving everything he had, he might still fail. And that fear was powerful enough to keep his greatest creation hidden from the world. 6 years earlier, Adrian wasn't trying to become famous. He wasn't dreaming about becoming rich. He simply couldn't forget one afternoon that changed the way he saw the world forever. He was 16 years old when his father surprised him with a trip to the coast. Adrian expected crystal blue water, fresh ocean air, and a beach full of life. Instead, he found silence. The beach was covered with plastic bottles, fishing nets, and piles of garbage carried in by the tide. The waves still sounded beautiful, but the shore looked like it was begging for help. Then Adrian noticed something: a young sea turtle, trapped inside a torn plastic fishing net. It struggled, again and again, until it became too tired to move. That night, Adrian couldn't sleep. He opened the small leather notebook he carried everywhere. On the first empty page, he wrote only 5 words: "Someone has to do something." At 16 years old, Adrian only had a notebook full of ideas. No investors, no expensive equipment, no team of engineers, just a dream that seemed too big for one person. Everyone around him saw a difficult problem. Adrian saw a challenge waiting for someone brave enough to begin. For the next 6 years, while the world continued moving, Adrian stayed behind closed doors. Not because he was lazy, not because he had given up, but because he believed every failure was proof that he was not ready. He failed more times than he could count. The machine wouldn't start. The sensors wouldn't respond. The collection arms would break under pressure. Every failure hurt, but every failure also taught him something. Some nights, Adrian wondered if everyone else was right. Maybe the ocean was too big. Maybe one person couldn't make a difference. Maybe this dream was simply too impossible. Then one morning, something happened. Something that forced Adrian to face the question he had avoided for years. Not, "Can I succeed?" but, "What happens if I never even try?" That morning started like every other morning. Adrian unlocked the workshop, made a cup of coffee, picked up his notebook, and walked toward the ocean cleaner. It had been sitting in the same place for almost 3 months, not because it wasn't finished, because Adrian couldn't convince himself that it was. Then, his phone vibrated. It was an announcement from the National Coastal Innovation Foundation. Young Inventors Demonstration Day. Scientists, engineers, environmental organizations, and investors would all be there. One successful demonstration could turn one small idea into something that reached coastlines around the world. For a few seconds, he smiled. Then fear quietly whispered, "If your machine fails there, everyone will see it." The smile disappeared. Adrian completed the application. His name, his project, photos of the ocean cleaner. Everything was ready. Only one button remained: submit. He rested his finger above the screen. His heart beat faster. Not because he expected success, because he expected failure. 1,000 thoughts raced through his mind. What if they laugh? What if it stops working? What if 6 years disappear in 6 minutes? Slowly, Adrian pulled his hand away. He closed the laptop, and once again, fear won. The deadline passed. Quietly. No dramatic music. No warning. Just one ordinary evening that changed everything. Adrian looked at the clock. 11:59 p.m. The application was still open. He reached for the mouse, but fear spoke one last time. One more month. One more improvement. One more test. The clock changed. 12 a.m. The application closed. Just like that, the opportunity was gone. For the first time in 6 years, Adrian didn't feel relief. He felt regret. Because he hadn't lost to another inventor. He had lost to his own fear. A few weeks later, Adrian watched the competition online. Another young inventor stood on the stage. His invention wasn't perfect. It even failed during the demonstration. The audience laughed for a moment. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of walking away, the inventor smiled, fixed the problem, and finished the demonstration. He didn't win because he was perfect. He won because he refused to quit. In that moment, Adrian finally understood. Failure had never been his enemy. Fear of failure was. The next morning, nothing around Adrian had changed. The same workshop, the same unfinished dreams hanging on the walls, the same ocean cleaner resting on the workbench. The only thing that had changed was Adrian. For 6 years, he had been asking, "What if I fail?" Today, he asked a different question. What if I never find out what this machine could become? He smiled. Not because his fear was gone, because he finally understood. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking the next step while fear is still standing beside you. 1 month later, another public demonstration was announced. This time, Adrian didn't wait for perfection. He submitted his application before fear had a chance to change his mind. The day arrived. Dozens of people gathered near the harbor. Engineers, scientists, journalists, students. Adrian carefully lowered the ocean cleaner into the water. For a moment, everything worked perfectly. The solar panels powered the machine. The navigation sensor guided it forward. The collection nets gathered floating plastic exactly as they were designed to do. Then, without warning, one collection arm stopped moving. 6 months ago, Adrian would have walked away. Today, he ran toward the problem. Minutes later, the ocean cleaner moved forward again. Its twin collection arms swept plastic from the surface. Its collection nets filled with floating waste. For the first time, Adrian wasn't proud because everything went perfectly. He was proud because he didn't quit. The demonstration ended. People surrounded Adrian, not because his invention was perfect, but because they had watched someone refuse to give up. One environmental organization offered to fund more testing. A local university invited Adrian to continue developing the ocean cleaner. Volunteers asked one simple question: when can we help? 6 years earlier, Adrian thought success meant hearing applause. Now he realized the greatest reward was watching his dream begin to help others. Months later, the ocean cleaner was no longer sitting alone in a workshop. It floated across real coastlines, collecting plastic, one piece at a time. It didn't clean the entire ocean. But every clean stretch of water proved one powerful truth. Every big change begins with someone willing to take the first step. Maybe you're waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe you're waiting until you feel confident. Maybe you're waiting until you're sure you won't fail. But confidence rarely comes before the first step. It comes because of the first step. The biggest dreams are not destroyed by failure. They're destroyed when fear convinces us never to try. So, start before you're ready. Your first attempt doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. If Adrian's story reminded you of a dream you've been hiding, don't let fear write the ending. Tell us in the comments, what is one dream you've been afraid to try? And if this story inspired you, subscribe to Glowing Flame Stories, where every story is a reminder that one brave step can change a life.